Hi guys, welcome to Book Reviews with Fee, and today we're going to be reviewing The House of Eve by Sadequa Johnson. Now, The House of Eve is a dual narrative. It's two love stories. So we have the love story between Ruby, who is a 15-year-old girl in Philadelphia, Black girl in the 1940s. And she falls in love with Jimmy, who is a teenage Jewish boy who's the father of the man who owns the building that she's living in with her aunt. And it's a forbidden romance, and Ruby ends up pregnant. The second half of the narrative deals with Eleanor, who is a college student at Howard in Washington, D.C., and she meets William, who is from a well-to-do, very light-skinned Black family who throughout slavery have maintained their color status and their financial status by only marrying within their group of other very fair-skinned, they say they can pass for white, light-skinned Black people. William's father's a doctor, his father's a doctor, and his father's a doctor. So they come from a long line of money. And Eleanor, although she isn't poor, she comes from a working class family. She also works to put herself through college. However, she's seen by William's mother, Rose, from being on the wrong side of the track. So this story, I won't give out a lot of detail because I would like you to read it for yourself, but it does delve into how love stories during that time period were influenced by the culture, the cultural norms, the laws, and anti-miscegenation laws, and just these intercultural barriers. And Eleanor deals with a pregnancy, and Ruby deals with a pregnancy, and you see how their limited choices and the outer influences on their lives cause them to make some very harrowing, heartbreaking choices in order to pursue their lives, to pursue their education, and pursue their heart. And The House of Eve, when I first started reading this book, I thought that somehow Ruby and Eleanor were going to be linked in terms of lineage, until I realized it was the same time period. And so when I found out what The House of Eve really was, I was like, oh my gosh, is this a horror movie? Like a horror book, a horror novel? Like, it's really like the House of Horrors. So if that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what will. So I will give this a 3.5 out of 5, just because I was expecting something different. I like my romance to be trauma-free, to be racial trauma-free, and just it was a very good read. If you're into historical fiction, which I am not, this will be your jam. It's very well written. It's just that it doesn't leave you with the warm fuzzies, you know? It's just like, oh, I guess it worked out. But each protagonist had to go through so much trauma just to live out their lives. And I listened to I think it's the epilogue by the author, and I saw an interview of hers on YouTube, and she explained how she got the story and how a lot of it was historically based, and she needed to tell the story. I'm just not a fan of that. I like my history to be history, and I like my fiction to be an escape. I don't want the twain to meet. If you have read it, please change my mind. Tell me what you thought, and I'll meet you in the comments.